Hey everybody, Steve Hernandez here, back at it again with another video for you all. This one's going to be at Pinnacles National Park, and the trail is going to be called Condor Gulch Trail to High Peaks Trail Loop. If you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Steve Hernandez. I post videos here once a week, mainly about my reviews on hikes, but I'm also going to be incorporating food because personally I love food, and also whenever I'm doing these hikes that are 3+ hours, I actually treat myself at the very end, and I try to find new spots, and I'm a huge foodie. I love food. Who doesn't love food? If any of that is interesting towards you, really appreciate a like, a comment, subscribe. Please hit the notification button. You're not going to want to miss the next videos that I do. But without further ado, let me get to the video. Wait to the very end because that's where I get my detailed breakdown of the hike, my thoughts on it, parking, kind of like all the nuances of doing a hike. But enjoy the video. Hope to see you at the end. Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. So now let me give you a detailed breakdown of the hike. Pinnacles National Park is actually my first national park. I'm really excited for it when I first decided to go, and it was honestly worth it. 10 out of 10 recommend. So again, let me give you a detailed breakdown of it. I track all my hikes 2 ways, through the All Trails app and my Apple Watch. According to the All Trails app, it was 7.6 miles. Elevation gain was 2,090 feet. Moving time 4 hours and 17 minutes. Total time 4 hours and 42 minutes. Calories burned 2,230. According to my Apple Watch, it was 7.83 miles. Elevation gain was 2,467 feet. Active calories was 1,338. Total calories 1,850. And my average heart rate was 93 beats per minute. And I'm also going to post over here kind of like the loop that I do, because there is a part that I did personally and that I kind of like veered off, and you can kind of tell by it. It's supposed to be kind of just like obviously just a loop, but you can tell where I kind of veered off and I came back and I continued the loop. So I will say, if you're planning to do this, I always do this with every of my hikes. Early bird gets the worm, as they say. So please wake up early, get there early. And maybe you'll be as lucky as me, because I got there early enough where I actually didn't need to pay for parking. It was actually free at the time that I went, because I guess I got there around 6 o'clock, and yeah, it was like nobody there. There was probably like one other person there, but they weren't, nobody was there to take my parking pass, or take my money so I can get a parking pass. So I was able to get free parking, luckily. Bring a sweater if you're going really early though. And the reason is because it was really cold in the morning, but just be aware, obviously, as you're going to keep hiking, you're going to get warmer, and you're going to eventually need to take it off. So that's just something to consider if you are bringing a sweater, but you'll probably need it if you're going as early as I am, around 6, because it was pretty cold. The beginning of the hike, I will say it was pretty steep incline, honestly, because it was really early morning as well. You can kind of see the clouds. So it was a steep incline probably for like the first 2 miles, so be prepared for that. Make sure you're stretching enough, because if you're not prepared for that steep incline, it can take a real toll on your legs. And now I'm gonna go to the little detour that I did. So I heard that there was like a little cave around there, and I was like, okay, maybe I want to do this cave. So I kind of veered off, as you can tell on the map, which I'm going to show again over here. Veered off a little bit. It added about 2 miles to the total trip, right? But the hard part about it was that you go downhill, you go through the cave. It was a nice cave. It was pretty long, and then you have to come back up. And the problem with it is coming back up, because now you went downhill and I have to come back uphill. So that made this total hike, I will say, a little bit more difficult, because it added obviously 2 miles to the hike, and it drained my legs a little bit more than I wanted to. Would I say it's worth it? Honestly, if you're really into hikes, into caves, then yes, it's pretty nice. If you're not, if you're kind of like, caves aren't really that my thing, then probably not worth it. You can probably just do the loop and be completely fine with it. I will say there are, in this hike, there are like small crevices and like small little kind of trails that you got to go to, so you kind of gotta get a little scrunched up, kind of go to the side. So be aware of that when you're going through there, because there was times where I had to kind of really go to the side, or like kind of try to get small to fit in. And also because of that, high foot traffic can be pretty intense. So another reason why going super early is that there aren't that many people there, because if you're going there in the midday, you're obviously going to have to bypass people. So another great reason why you should go early is because obviously there won't be that many people, because there's small crevices. You don't have to really wait for people, and that was a really great thing, that because I went super early. The highlight of the hike, I will say, was definitely the condors. If you want to see condors, I personally have never seen condors until this hike. If you want to see condors, this is the hike to do. It was gorgeous seeing them. You can kind of tell in the beginning of the hike, like, oh, is that a condor? At least that's what I was thinking. I was like, are these condors? Is that no, it wasn't condor. But you can tell you're getting closer to the condor, because the elevation starts increasing, and there starts being these kind of like makeshift steps to get higher elevation. And then as you're getting higher and higher, you actually are by the area where they tag the condors, and they're actually having babies. So they're creating their little nest there, and it was great. You can see them; they're huge. I saw a few from kind of like leading up to it, but once you see them up close, they are giant and they are enormous. They are beautiful. I was amazed at how big they are, and a huge thing about it too, because you're getting higher and higher. Some of the overlooks were just amazing that the video probably didn't do justice towards it, but it was just like vast and huge, and I was like, oh my god, I just gotta take this in. Hopefully the video showed a little bit of it, but honestly, you probably just have to go and view it yourself. And one thing I will say, if you look at the map again, if you want to go back, I'll probably just put it again up here. Again with the loop, there's like a monolith part where you see like it's just like a monolith that you can see. There's a trail to go to the lower caves, which I tried to do, but at the time when I hiked, it was closed. And you can kind of hear like the water, and there's like a really strong, steady stream over there. I really wanted to see that. I really want to see what it was about, but unfortunately, because the time that I went, it wasn't open. So you might probably have better luck than I do, and I would recommend doing that. And that's towards the end if you're gonna go counterclockwise. So you can tell by the green dot again. That's where I started and kind of always go. Usually I go counterclockwise and try to get harder. At least that's my thought. I don't know. Most of the hikes that I'm just gonna go counterclockwise. I don't know why. There's no real reason why. Maybe I should go clockwise. Not sure. But if you are gonna go counterclockwise and you are close to the monolith, think about going to lowercase. It's gonna be right as you're passing through. So make sure you see the signs. It was right there. I tried to see it, and then obviously I wasn't able to because it was closed. But yeah, that was honestly the hike out of 10, or no, out of 5, because I usually do 5. Difficulty of this was for sure like a 4.5, and probably I will say the reason why it's close to a 5 is because I did add those 2 miles or like a mile and a half, kind of diverting off the trail. That was on me. Would I do it again? Probably, because I'm just weird that way. But it added another mile, which like mile and a half plus, closer to 2. That made it a little bit more difficult. But please bring enough water. Obviously, that's what I say with all my hikes. Please bring enough water, at least 2 liters. Bring a sweater. I like wearing a sweater throughout my whole hike just because I don't get a sunburn. Yes, you're kind of warm and hot. It's kind of gross, a little bit sticky, but personally, I'd rather feel that way than get kind of like sunburn. And that's just me personally. If you'd rather just stick it out with the sun, fine. Obviously wear sunscreen that can protect you, but other than that, honestly, I like wearing sweaters because it kind of protects me all. I can just use sunscreen on my face and I'll be completely fine. If you've reached to the end of this video, really appreciate it. Let me know if there's any hikes that you want me to do, if there's information that you would want me to put some of these videos. I'm trying to be as informative as possible. One of the things that I did when I first started hiking is there really wasn't anything of like information. There's like obviously the all trails up in comments, but there's not really people like reviewing it, saying how hard it is, telling you the distance, telling you what they've seen and what they experienced. So yeah, let me know in the comments section any information that you want me to put in these videos, or if there's something that I missed, or there's something more that you want. But again, I appreciate you've reached it to this far. Also, go check out my other social media accounts, Steve Harris SJ, Instagram. Put a link down below, so it's gonna be a little thing down here. And I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.